So hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker. Today what we're doing is, well, it's the same day as we're still at Freeman Motorcycles here in Clonmel, and what I've taken out to now is the same Africa Twin, but what we've done is just popped in the dual clutch transmission engine. No, I'm being silly. It's obviously a different bike. It's the exact same model, year, same engine, just has the dual clutch transmission. And like I said, we are here at Freeman Motorcycles in Clonmel. So if you want this one, it is €13,950, and you can buy it if you want. Starts nicely. What's our fuel like? We'll pop in some fuel, and then we'll go out and hit the road. So, what am I doing today? I'm just doing a straight comparison basically on this bike. I'll probably put on my gloves when we get to petrol. It's only just down the road. A straight comparison between this bike and the bike I just rode, which is the manual model. There we go. Sometimes words are very difficult for me. Now there's the manual model right there. So weird not needing a clutch. So weird. I don't know, do I like it? Now, the reason I said I would take this out is because I've tried the DCT models before, but I wasn't a big fan, and the reason I wasn't a big fan is entirely due to the fact that the bike didn't have the the 6-axis IMU that basically knew when you were leaning and knew whether you wanted to change a gear, or it guessed whether you wanted to change a gear or not. It just kind of did it, and I got a little bit of a fright before on a DCT while I was in a bend, but that's apparently completely cured now that this is linked to the 6-axis IMU. Wow, the gear changes are really good. So it's already smoother than the last model, I'll tell you that much. And what we're going to do is fill up. And if you haven't already seen it, go back and watch my full first ride review of the manual bike, because that is basically going to be related to this one. The only thing I'm examining in this one is the DCT. So really cool off the bat. You have your automatic and manual, drive and neutral, so you can go drive, sport, neutral, and then you also can go through your Tiptronic modes here, which I'm not going to use because I don't want to. And anyway, we'll fill it up. Filling is accomplished by opening the fuel tank, the same as every bike ever. It's quite easy. Oh, they are a good looking bike, aren't they? And I mean, the dual clutch transmission thing on the engine actually looks cool. I will say that. I'm not sure I'm a fan of DCT itself yet, but I do like how the engine looks. Now, we have brand new, not broken in road bias tires on this bike. Something else that is worth mentioning, since in the full first ride review that I did with the manual bike, that did have knobbies, or 50/50 tires anyway. Now what I'm going to do is just pop it into sport mode, because I do think, I think drive mode is a bit dead, so I'm going to leave it in sport mode. That's one thing I'll notice off the bat. If you're used to kind of riding a bike yourself, I suppose, I think definitely drive mode is just changes gears too low. Yeah, it's definitely changing gears too low for me. So go into sport, and immediately sports kicks it down 2 gears, which is where I would be here. So I think I like that one. Now, I know as well, obviously you have your pluses and minuses, which are, I'm not sure where they are in this one actually. I'll have to stop and have a look. I prefer just leaving it in auto. You see, this is the thing, right? I know I've used obviously auto cars, and a lot of people will use the Tiptronics on them, but I've never seen the point. There we go. We'll try it in urban. If you watch the last video, I pretty much stayed in tour the whole time. I did use urban before the video, but I do like urban. Now I will say this particular DCT box it's a lot smoother than the last one I used. Now whether that is because this is brand new and the old one was due a service, I don't know. The old one that I did try at the time was on an older bike. So it was a person's bike, and it was well used. I think it had 30-something thousand miles on it. But I have to say, the box in this is actually quite nice, and it's funny because it's like when I got on the electric bike. The electric bike, you'd think you're not going to get used to it, and that's kind of what I think DCT should do. It should give you, you know, the feel and power and you know, niceness of a petrol engine, but still kind of function seamlessly like one of those electric bikes, like the SRF I rode that time. And oh well, this is a different bike on road by its tires, I'm not gonna lie, they're really nice. But I will say, you know, straight off the bat, that this gearbox would give me a lot more confidence straight away, like the electric bikes do. I just didn't have confidence in the last DCT I tried. Now, would I take this over manual? I don't know yet. Wait until we've done the full route, or most of the route. I don't have time to do the full route that we did on the manual version, and I'll know a bit more then. But I will say, like, into corners in this, so like this is a fairly sharp corner, braking. I'm just trusting that DCT, which is brave of me because I don't really trust it yet, and it was absolutely perfect. So I cannot complain there. It's in the right gear out of corners. Now, like I said, that is sport, so now what we'll do is we'll go to drive mode, which drive mode in urban, so D in urban, that's what we're testing now. If you, just in case you can't see my screens, that's a bit of gravel. And drive mode is definitely keeps the revs lower, so when we come into a corner now, that'll be interesting. And this road has lots of corners, lots of nice bends and curves. Okay, drive does the job too. I won't lie. It's weird because I think it depends on how you ride your bike yourself. I mean, I probably do rev my bike more than is necessary anyway. I prefer being a bit higher up in the power. Yeah, like there now, there. That for me is in the wrong gear. Like if that was me there, I would have come up out of that corner and just, you know, pinned it a bit and had a bit of fun. And the fact that the DCT kind of took that exact thing away from me because it has the revs nice and low. I mean, look, that's how some people might ride their bikes, but for me, I think, while I'm not saying I dislike the DCT, I won't make that call yet because it would be grossly unfair. I will say that I definitely prefer sport mode. But I think, like that's, like I said, that's kind of, yeah, like there you go. If the power straight up out of the corner now, that's where I would have had the revs. And there again. Yeah, that's where I would have the revs, definitely. So yeah, for me, I don't think drive mode is my cup of tea, but sport mode, yes. Sport mode is, that is how I would ride a bike, I have to say. So what we're going to do now is try sport in Tour. So now we're back in Tour. And it's there. I mean, the thing about it is, this is the same engine, okay? So it depends. I know that, strangely enough, the MPG on these bikes, on the book, is actually better on the DCT gearbox, which is interesting. Now, I wonder, is that because they tested it in drive mode? I'd be very interested to know if it's better than the manual gearbox when you're in sport mode. That would be interesting to me. But like coming into this corner now, which I came into a bit hot earlier in the manual as well, and we're in sport in Tour. Okay, I'm converted. It handled that perfectly. It's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one. It's really hard to know. It's really hard to know what you actually prefer. I mean, do I dislike this DCT? Absolutely not. It's really good. This is the problem. I cannot fault it. I can't fault this, and like, it's also directly related to how wide open the throttle is, because when I have the throttle like a quarter turn open, it's changing it at 4,000 revs. So the sport mode really is, it's almost too smart. But the sport mode definitely learns me better straight away. And when you twist it, you know, half to 3/4, it's keeping those revs a lot higher. So it's guessing, okay, this guy's pinning the throttle. I'm assuming he wants to go that little bit faster. which is nice. And I know, look, obviously DCT I think is actually generally more aimed for people who tour. Do most people who tour ride like me? Probably not. I ride like a little bit of an asshole some of the time. But what I will say is very impressive from the sportier riding sense. Just that you're able to fling this into corners and trust it. That's the big thing for me, is I want to be able to trust these things, and I definitely so far have trusted this one. It hasn't, at no point has it made me clench. And I think that's the test on DCT is, okay, did this make me clench? Like here, it's gear shifting down nicely, it's in the right gear for that corner, I can throw it into the next bit, still in the right gear, still in the right gear, and we're up out of it. Yeah, okay Honda, well done. And it never, I think the thing is as well, you kind of feel it like, oh, this is nice, I am enjoying this now, this is nice. Especially since I have more confidence on these road boys tires as well. Like the thing about it is, you know, the old time I tried it, which was on the cross tour, and it was an early model with the DCT, so it was definitely unrefined, and I've probably been harsh about this for a long time due to that. But the thing about it is, every time I even came into a corner, like braking, this is gearing down, and it's gearing down absolutely fine, right? And I'm throwing it in, and it's just, the pickup is there where I want it to be. Same here, right? The pickup is there where I expect the pickup to be if I was changing gears myself. It seems to be there on this one. Obviously I haven't ridden it enough, but like here again, that's the gear I would have been in. And so this one, sport mode DCT on this bike is correct. Whereas like I was saying, on the other bike, it did it once or twice, and it always had me worried. I'd be coming into a corner, and you know, it'd gear down like one too many or one too few. So if I wanted to be in third gear, it might be in second or fourth. Now, if you ride bikes, you know that makes a huge difference if you're kind of committing to a corner a little bit more. You know, you really need to be in the right gear. Too low, you know, you could lock up your back wheel, or you're gonna have too much power coming out of it. Too high, and you're not going to be able to do what I just did there. You won't have the power and the torque in the right place to save you. Whereas this one, I'm converted. I don't know how to feel about that, but this model of DCT is so far really good. I have no complaints. It's a problem for me because I wanted not to like this. I know I'm a bad person, but I wanted to come out here and say like, oh, DCT still isn't pure. I still can't ride as fast with DCT, but I definitely can. And I think the thing about it is, we'll just pop it back into D mode. I think the funny thing about it is, now that I'm kind of finished with my racier riding, this is where DCT kind of makes even more sense, because I don't need to worry about it. I'm just cruising, I'm just looking forward, and the next time I buy a car, it's definitely going to be an automatic car, because the way the world has gone, when you're just cruising, you don't care, you don't want to be monitoring all that stuff. You know what I mean? You don't want to be changing gear when you're just cruising in a car. And I can see the sense for a touring motorcycle like this one is supposed to be. It's also made for touring. I can see the sense in having DCT when you're just relaxing and saving fuel. Like right now, the instant fuel economy on this is 85 mpg. That's UK mpg. 85 mpg is ridiculous. It shouldn't happen. And now you can see on a quarter throttle as well on D mode, it's changing at like half the rev. So a big difference. A big difference there between D and S. So I think if you always kind of want to be ready to turn on the power a little bit, I would probably recommend riding in S mode, because right now it's chugging, you know, it's chugging a little bit. Now let's pop it into manual. Okay, the cool thing is, right, so we're just going to go into D mode here. D mode. I'm going to go manual. Okay, so we're now in full Tiptronic control. And those gear shifts are smooth. What I'm interested to know is if I just... So I'm in Tiptronic right now, okay? So I'm in full control of my own gears. But what I'm interested to see is if I break down, or you know, not break down, if I slow down a lot where it knows it needs to gear down, will it kick back into automatic itself? Let's check. No. Okay, so that's good to know. So when it's in Tiptronic, it is all on you. And the buttons for the Tiptronic, so the left thumb here is down, and then the left front forefinger over here, just behind the gears, the stuff, is your up. And it's actually a really natural finger position, to be honest. And again, I want to dislike this, but god damn it, Honda, you're making it hard. But yeah, again, I have to say, like, gear down again. I'm not touching the throttle, I'm leaving the throttle pinned where I have it, not that it's pinned, and down 2 gears, and like even leaving the throttle exactly where it is for up and down shifts. It just, the bike handles everything itself. When we get out onto a bit of a wider road, I'll test it at higher revs, but this is smooth as butter. And I would actually hazard to say it's smoother than the DCT itself, probably because, you know, when you hit the up button, it doesn't do it instantly. So all it's thinking at that point is, okay, I need to drop this into gear at the right time. So down 2, absolutely perfect, absolutely perfect. I'm actually enjoying using the Tiptronic, even though I was just saying I wouldn't a minute ago. Actually, can you change gear while standing? I want to go up a gear here. Yeah, that's really smooth. And oh, down a gear. Yeah, really, really smooth. So you can change gear in Tiptronic while you're standing. up a gear, down a gear, down a gear. Yeah, that's impressive. That is bloody impressive. Here we go now, hairpin here. Can it handle this? On the back brake. Okay, that's the first time that I probably, if it was me, I would have kicked that down into first gear a little bit earlier, and I wouldn't have ran as wide as I did there. As you know, the DCT kind of caused me to run wide a little bit. But I think the thing is, now that I know it does that in sport mode, it wouldn't happen again, to be honest. And that is quite a tight hairpin. So yeah, open road driving, D mode is the bee's knees, to be honest. It's perfectly smooth, it's in the right gear, it's not jumpy, and then we'll brake hard coming in here, brake hard. And D mode broke down with me, so yeah, it's really good. Now this is the weird thing, D mode is now in 6th gear at quite low revs, and that's one thing I'd be interested to know how that actually works out in the long run if someone's using one of these all the time, because it feels a little bit odd. And I can still manually kick it down 2 gears, so you can still use the Tiptronic even when you're in non-Tiptronic, and it does just boot you back up to 6th gear pretty quickly. But so D mode while cruising is quite nice, I have to say. Definitely not for me on the twistier roads. Definitely D mode I would reserve for like these roads that you want to just waft along them. You know, they're very, very different to you know, twisty back roads, but you definitely want to waft along them more. Whereas then on the twisty back roads, press of a button, you're into sport mode. And I think that's definitely the way I would, if this was my bike, if I owned this, that is how I would manage. The thing about it is, it just makes it so easy to ride the bike. So I mean, if someone had an issue with their hand, or an issue with their foot, or they just had worse mobility on the left hand side, this makes it so easy. This is unbelievably relaxing to ride the bike like this, to be honest. Which is weird. It's weird to say that out loud, but it really is. It's very relaxing. I will say as well, I mentioned in the last video that I did with the manual of these that screen was low, but to be honest, riding along at normal road speed or whatever else, you really don't feel much wind. This bike is a lovely place to be, and I can see myself owning one in the future. Maybe not the near future because I'm a bit broke, but definitely in the future. This model Africa Twin with the smaller tank and the lighter weight, I really like it. It's won me over big time. Even the DCT has won me over big time. What we'll do is we'll stop at a car park I was in earlier, and we'll close out this video there. But yeah, I'm surprised I like it as much as I do. And then, so when you stop, when you want to go into neutral, number one, you don't need to do anything. It's still ready to go and drive, but it's to stop you blipping that and popping yourself forward. You just hit N, and now it's in neutral. And there you go. That's all there is to it, really. I did not want to like this DCT as much as I do. This is a problem for me, because I've said some words in the past. I've said some things. Am I proud of those things? Maybe not. But I said them, and I'm going to stand by them. Except now, well, I would have stood by them, but it's really good. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So is the DCT something I personally would buy? I don't think so. I think for me, I would still rather go with the manual. That's nothing to do with the DCT though. That's nothing to do with this gearbox. It's phenomenal, and it has completely proved me wrong. And I need to take back what I said, to be honest. It's an exceptional gearbox. Honda have kind of look. The DCT has been around for quite a while with Honda now. I know it's supposed to be amazing on the Goldwing. I know it's supposed to be amazing on the NC 750, you know, the commutery bike. But to come out here on this type of bike, on those type of roads, and to have a mode for open roads and faster twisty roads, it's really impressive. I think they've done a fantastic job, because I was a naysayer and it's won me over. I mean, I wasn't against it, but I definitely wasn't for it either, you know. And yeah, to say that it's won me over, I think is a testament to how good it is. And that's not just talking nonsense. I honestly was against DCT. I wouldn't have even wanted to ride them. I had no interest in them. I mean, it's really good. It's really good. It does add, I think, 10 kg to the bike. So if you're like hell-bent on having the lightest bike possible, manual is for you. Personally, look, I would stick with manual for now, just because I like manual. I do like it. If I was to get something like a Goldwing, I would absolutely get one of them. Or to be honest, if I was to buy one of these and my plan was to go touring long distance on it, I'd probably get one of them too, because I mean, that's what it's for. And in drive mode up there on the little section I did, it was really relaxing, because I was just cruising, you know what I mean? And I think that's what it's for. It's just a nice relaxing cruise. So yeah, I will take back my words. I will eat my words. I was wrong. DCT is really bloody good. But like I said, for me, I'd still take the manual version over the DCT version. Not because it's not really good, just because I like manual. But yeah, bloody exceptional transmission. Well done, Honda. If you have watched, thank you very much for watching. If you want to buy this bike, this exact bike, it is available in Freeman Motorcycles in Clonmel right now for 13,950. If this one is gone by the time you see this video, give them a call. They might be able to get you a different one anyway. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Links in the description for Freeman Motorcycles, by the way, sorry. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, massive thank you to all of my patrons, as always. And yeah, until next time, thank you again. Adios. Outro crew, let me know, what would you have? Genuinely, would you have the DCT or would you have manual? I'm honestly, I'm really impressed with that. I'm really impressed with that DCT. Like I said, I'd still have the manual myself, but I'm really impressed with that. It's a bloody good gearbox. It's a bloody good bike. I should not have ridden this bike. I'm an idiot. It's so nice. God damn it.